Black Phone 2 is once again directed by Scott Derrickson, as was the first film, which is one of my favorite horror films of all time. And he also directed Sinister, Doctor Strange, Exorcism of Emily Rose, and a couple other films. And this once again stars Mason Thames, Madeleine McGraw, and Ethan Hawke. Let's see what we got today. As Finn struggles with life after his captivity, his sister begins receiving calls in her dreams from the Black Phone and seeing disturbing visions of 3 boys being stalked at a winter camp known as Alpine Lake. So if you guys have been following my channel for a while, you guys would know I adore the original Black Phone. Like I said, it's one of my favorite horror films of all time at this point. Like, I've seen that movie so many times, and every single time that I watch and every time I think about it, it gets better and better. And I think it is honestly my favorite film from Scott Derrickson. And it's not saying a lot because he is one of my favorite horror directors working today and just directors in general. So when they announced a sequel, I was very hesitant. I was like, how are they going to pull off a sequel to The Black Phone? Because if they were going to go that route, I was thinking they would probably go like a prequel route. But then when they announced that it was basically going to be a Freddy Krueger route with the grabber, I was like, oh, that is a really interesting idea. And then the trailer came out and I was immediately sold. And walking out of this one, I'm happy to say I loved it. I loved this movie. Is it as good as the first one? No. The first one is still better because the first film is much more like a more tighter and contained story. This one does more of like expansion on the lore of the grabber and also Gwen and Finney's mom, like, which we come to learn about in the film, which again, not going to dig deep into spoilers here, but and how they're like the connections and everything, like that kind of stuff is what we kind of learn more about. And that kind of stuff actually was really interesting with how they were able to come up with all of it. And one thing I think that helps with this movie is that C. Robert Cargill and Scott Derrickson once again reteamed to write the script. And like I said, Scott Derrickson coming back as a director, I think that's what honestly helped this movie. And let's just get right into it. The cinematography and the look of this film looks amazing. Like, when it came to like the dream sequences, it has that like kind of VHS style grain that you see in The Black Phone and Sinister, which is something that we're kind of used to from Scott Derrickson at this point. And I think, honestly, the film grain and the cinematography by itself, the production design taking place at this winter camp, looks incredible. When it comes to the performances, Mason Thames is once again incredible as Finney. Like, he just slipped right back into the role. Madeleine McGraw also slips right back into the role of Gwen, and she is amazing here. Like, she steals the entire movie. And to be completely fair, this is pretty much Gwen's story, and with how she's feeling like, you know, haunted by the grabber, like especially when it came to these dream sequences. And the dream sequences and also the grabber in this film very much feels like a Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, this concept alone is basically a Nightmare on Elm Street, but instead of Freddy Krueger, we have the grabber. And I think they did a wonderful job with helming these dream sequences. Like, it's very intense with the tension building. I think Scott Derrickson did a really good job with tension building. That's something he also is fantastic at when it comes to him as a director. He knows how to like build tension, and he did a fantastic job with that. You also got Demian Bichir in here. He's great. But Ethan Hawke, once again, as the grabber. You don't necessarily see the grabber for a while in this film. He's kind of a more lurking threat in this film, and I think he did a fantastic job. Like, he is just as frightening in this movie as he was in the original Black Phone. Like, all the performances are great. Like, whenever there are scares, like, you don't really see the scares coming, and the practical effects, the gore, like, this film is way gorier than the first film. There's not really that much gore in the first Black Phone. Like, whenever there is gore, I think it mainly comes towards the film's third act. But in this film, they go all out with the gore, and I think they did a really good job with that. The direction from Scott Derrickson's great. Once again, all of our returning actors really slip right back into their roles, and they do a fantastic job with it. It's so well made. It's really well acted. That's not to say this is a perfect movie. It's not. I do have a couple of nitpicks with this one. First of all, The film clocks in at under 2 hours, and I kind of felt like within the film's first act, the film was very slow paced, and it definitely took a little while to get going. But once things got going, I think the pacing is a little bit more evened out. And also there is a couple of really weird dialogue choices, like ones that I was like, was that really necessary to write into the script? That's just me looking for stuff to nitpick, because other than those couple of nitpicks, I loved this movie. Like, I absolutely loved Black Phone 2. I was really excited for it, but I had to keep my expectations realistic walking in. But I'm still really happy that this sequel turned out as well as it did. If you love the first one like I do, definitely go see it. Even if you weren't a big fan of the first film, I could see you liking this one a lot more. So definitely go and see this. It's a perfect one for spooky season. I'm going to give Black Phone 2 an A. You guys have no idea how happy I am to say that. Please go see this movie. I promise you won't regret it. But let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought of Black Phone 2 and which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the first Black Phone, or do you prefer Black Phone 2? Let me know all of that down in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button down below and that notification bar right next to it so you never miss a post. Hit that thumbs up and share this video. You guys know what to do. Anyways, guys, that's it for me today. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.